Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Larry Levine. What's up, Larry?
Well, I'm up to no good, Bill. How about you here in, I would say sunny California, but it's kind of fucking overcast right now.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
A little bit, wind's blowing. Hey, somebody's getting blown and it's the wind, you know?
At least someone is, right?
Someone is.
Yeah, someone somewhere.
Someone somewhere. Usually I'm the one doing these on the major news. Let me drift into my TV voice. We're here with Bill Staxx right now. Bill is in Connecticut. I'm in Los Angeles. Bill, I'm pleased to be on your show today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Is that a good TV voice or?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, so let's get started. Well, I'm jumping in, taking control.
A lot of people might know you and recognize you from different newscasts like CNN, Fox, Court TV, and things like that.
Everybody, if you Google Larry Levine prison, I come up 500,000 times. No joke.
Wow.
The prosecutor called me a major violator, said I had my hand in everything illegal in Los Angeles. And we proved he was wrong. I didn't. They even said that I was killing people for the mafia, putting bodies in trash dumpsters and throwing them in the ocean. I mean, these federal prosecutors, they got a hell of a fucking vivid imagination, don't they, Bill?
It sounds like it. So where did your life start to take a turn? Where
Where did my life start to take a turn? When I got married to my first fucking wife. That's when my life took a turn. Back in, let me give you some background on me. Okay. I'm from LA. I spent, after high school, I was in the military for 10 years. I was an intelligence officer. I was doing all kinds of rotten shit all over the world. Well, you probably didn't even know that, did you?
No.
I decided the government sucked. I got out, I took it commercial, and I became a private investigator in Los Angeles. Some point along the line, I started working with some Italian businessmen to the point that I was sort of managing criminal operations in a 3-state area. I was a criminal planner. Let's say, Bill, you wanted to go commit a crime. You kind of knew what you wanted, but you didn't know how to do it. Well, I'd plan your crime for you. I was like an efficiency expert for organized crime. Well, it's what it is. You know what? I get paid now to be an asshole, so I have the perfect job. Anyway, I got caught up with some people I probably shouldn't have, and they weren't Italian. It was some others. And I ended up getting charged with narcotics trafficking, securities fraud, racketeering, obstruction of justice, and machine guns. I ended up selling methamphetamine directly to the DEA 4 times, an ounce, a pound, and 2 pounds. Now, I'm guilty of sin. I fully admit that. You got all these whiny motherfuckers out there saying, I'm not guilty and this and that. Well, I knowingly sold the fucking crank. I did. Now, this is where it gets a little sketchy. I wasn't already selling drugs. This cocksucker I was working with, I had been committing crimes with, he was in trouble with the feds himself. I knew his fiance, I guess at the time, excuse me, had cancer. Or again, so he says, who knows what to believe. So he told me that if I could get these drugs, that he had somebody that would pay him a large commission that he could use for her treatment. So this went on for almost a year. Finally, I said, fine. Remember, I'm a PI in LA. I can find drugs. No biggie.
Yeah.
So he set me up to sell to the DEA. Well, they didn't bust me the first time. They didn't bust me the second time. They didn't bust me the third time. They didn't even bust me the 4th time. It was an ounce, a pound, then 2 pounds. Then they wanted to get 5 pounds. Well, I couldn't get 5 pounds. Remember that I had other shit to do. My life wasn't evolved around selling fucking drugs and shit. This is just something I felt I was trying to help someone out. But at the same time, was I a criminal? Absolutely. We were printing $100 bills, $50 bills, $20 bills, American Express traveler's checks. And our traveler's checks were so good that you could call American Express and read those little fucking numbers on the bottom, and they would verify the check was good. We're doing driver's licenses, social security cards, birth certificates. What are those those foods? Back then they had food stamps. Now it's a plastic card. food stamps. The prosecutor said I was the supermarket of crime because I was just doing everything illegal. Maybe I was a bit out of control. The day they popped me, Northridge, California. Some of you listeners may know the place. Who knows? El Torito Restaurant. It was August 3rd, 98, about 7 p.m., 6:30. It was still light. It's funny because for several years after I got out of federal prison, I would go to this restaurant on August 3rd at about 6:30, and I'd invite all my friends to dinner. I would treat everyone to celebrate, the pass of my arrest because I just thought that was the coolest thing to do. So anyway, I'm supposed to meet this fucking confidential informant there, and he doesn't show, and I'm fucking munching on like it's happy hour, chips, fucking tequila, whatever it is. I dropped my daughter off. She was like 10 or something at the time at her friend's house. Said, I'll be back in a couple hours. She wanted to eat at Subway of all things. So Subway was my last meal before I went into custody. So anyway, I'm waiting for this motherfucker to show up. Doesn't show. Finally, I get a telephone call. We're outside. I'm thinking, finally. I go outside and I don't fucking see anything. Then I see the guy in the distance in the parking lot and he's waving me over. So I walk into the parking lot and all of a sudden about 100 federal agents, I kid you not, pop out behind all these places with machine guns and shotguns and they're pointing them. Put your hands in the air, put your hands in the air. And I'm thinking, wow, something's going on here. Well, I didn't know it was me that was going on there. So I yell over to these cops. I go, hey, are you talking to me? They go, yes, put your hands in the air. Well, fuck, I'm not putting my hands in the air. So I put my hands like out to the side where they're doing the federal shuffle, where they're taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. They're playing the whole fucking game. And I'm just shaking my head like, really, guys? So they're telling me to, let's see, put your hand. Okay, I said, hey, relax. I'm not going to hurt you. It's okay. And they said they're not afraid of me and all this nonsense. And I'm thinking one of these motherfuckers is going to get trigger happy and put something in my head. So I told them, I says, you stupid motherfuckers need to take your hands off your triggers. Of course, they don't do it. I go, who's in charge here? It's almost like I kind of took control of the situation. Who's in charge here? And somebody mumbled something. And I said, you tell those stupid motherfuckers to take their fingers off their triggers and I'll comply. And he mumbles something. And I said, apparently, whether you're in charge or not, you have a fucking comprehension problem because that's not what I said. I told you to tell those stupid motherfuckers to take their fingers off the trigger. Well, I guess I got through to this dumbass because he's, all right, you stupid motherfuckers, take your fingers off the triggers. So anyway, okay, I get down on the ground. They hook me up, they cuff me, and they take me to this big shopping mall in Northridge, California, to the top of the roof. It was the Northridge Fashion Center. It was the same place the earthquake collapsed in '94, and they'd rebuilt it. Anyway, so they take me there, and I'm in the back of this van. And there's all these cocksuckers running around. They got their blue windbreakers on. You know what I mean, Bill?
Yeah, yeah.
They have the FBI, DEA. I had FBI, DEA, U.S. Marshals, Secret Service, and the ATF.
You didn't have the drugs, right?
There were no drugs.
The
I
5 pounds?
didn't know about conspiracy laws at the time. I thought, well, they got to catch you with something. Well, but I had already had all the past sales, so it didn't really matter. So I'm sitting in this van. These motherfuckers are running around in their windbreakers. I'm recognizing faces. I know what agency you're with. And then they're calling each other by first name. I'm thinking, perfect. I know who you are. I know what agency you're with. I know your face. So they hook me up. They arrest me. They take me to MDCLA. That's the Federal Detention Center. Bring me inside. And it was like no big deal to me. People were like terrified in there. But I was more of a street person, so okay, fine. So anyway, I go to court. I'm arraigned. And I plead not guilty. It was at that point I knew I was set up because I read the criminal complaint. They talked about the confidential source. And it had to be my friend that was the fucking confidential source. About a week later, my lawyer well, I actually saw her the next day, but about a week later, I go to the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's the federal prosecutor in L.A. For you motherfuckers that don't know, it's part of the DOJ. You know, the prosecutor wants to talk to you. I'm thinking, of course they fucking want to talk to me. This is their game, people. They want to talk to everybody, see who they can flip. So we go into the prosecutor's office, and he says to me, do you have any questions before we get started? And I thought about it. I go, yeah, I got a fucking question, because this guy was signing all his shit. R. Michael Bellata. He's still a prosecutor up in Detroit, because I follow his shit. Anyway, R. Michael Bellata. And I go, yeah, I'd like to know, what does the R in your name mean? And he goes, that's not what I meant. What does my fucking name mean as far as you have any questions? I go, well, I want to know. And he goes, well, I don't really like to say, but it stands for Rudolph. And I look at this guy, I go, actually, the R stands for Ronald. It's not Rudolph. So now we know you're a fucking liar. See, I figured we'd start this interview off the right way. This guy gets all fucking steam. My lawyer's kicking me under the fucking table. So he takes me into this room, like a conference room behind this office. And there's all these agents that are sitting around this kind of like oval table, like knights of like King Arthur or something. Yeah. And all these agents are there. And this guy says real smugly, well, since you know who I am, why don't I introduce all the people in the room to you? And I says, you know what? Why don't you let me do that? And I pointed to each one of them, gave them their first name and their last name, because I had gotten discovery over the last week. First name, last name, and what agency they're with. And they're looking at each other, Bill, thinking, how could he possibly know that? So I grabbed control of this, whatever session it was. I says, now that we know what I know, what is it you know? So you see how you sometimes got to grasp a situation and grab it by the balls?
Yeah.
So I fought my case. I'm guilty of sin. I admit it. They flew fucking people in from Europe to testify against me. Took me to sentencing 17 times. I kid you not. Countless interviews. I didn't tell him anything. Prosecutor says, Mr. Levine. I'm fucking looking around the room. He goes, what are you looking for? I go, who's Mr. Levine? I didn't even know my own fucking name, you know? FBI comes out to interview me. I guess I was very popular. And they've got these pictures of somebody, could be anybody, at the Santa Monica airport down here in California. And it's like a fucking telephoto Zoom picture. And they go to me, is this you? I'm looking at the picture. I go, I don't know. It looks like me. It was me. But I go, I don't know. It looks like me. So we went round and round and round. And I said, did you follow me there? I'm cutting to the chase here because other shit happened. I know we need to move this along. I said, did you follow me there? And he goes, well, yes. I go, well, then you already fucking know it's me. Why are you asking me what you already know? Does this make sense? And I look at the second agent and I go, is he an idiot or something? Asking me shit he already knows. Well, my lawyer's kicking me under the table. About a minute later, Bill, this interview is over too. I did not help them at all. I got 2 10-year sentences and a 5-year sentence, ran concurrent in the feds. And I served my time at 11. I kid you not. People are going to say I'm full of shit because I get this all the time. When I go on the news, I go to YouTube, their YouTube channel, and I read all the comments and people saying I'm an idiot. Just people talk shit about me, and I always respond to them. Hey, motherfucker, why don't you call me? Here's your number. You don't fucking, my number. You don't believe me? Why don't we get down? We can talk about this. They're all fucking pussies. They don't.